everyone. Good morning. How is everyone doing in chat? I see so many familiar faces. Vincent, Tim, Jan, Huxel, Sam, Gerard. It's so good to see you guys. Hello, Cornell. Hello, Zuzana. Hello, Valder. Already with the memes and the puns. You guys are wonderful. Hey there. All right, guys. So before we jump into all of our challenges and everything for today, I want to introduce myself. I am VooDoo Val. Some of you folks may recognize me from some previous weeks hosting and all that, or you may have seen me in chat. I'm usually a moderator. But for this week and for last week, I've been the host for the Daily Creative Challenge. And it's been super fun. I want to give you guys a big thank you for all of you who have been following along with the challenges thus far and participating in Discord. And also to welcome all you new folks who might never have participated in the challenge before. I want to briefly pull up the Daily Creative Challenge page here, just so that you guys can check it out if you've never been here before. If you go to behance.net/dailycreativechallenge, it'll bring you to this page where you can click here at the top and register for the awesome challenges that we've been working on. And basically what happens is every day a new challenge is revealed to you folks. You guys can jump in and check out a little description of what I have planned, as well as download a template or some helpful assets for some of the challenges that have those available to you. And if you scroll down to the very bottom here, you can either get Photoshop CC if you don't have Photoshop already, and you can join us on Discord, which has been super, super fun. There are so many people active and participating in these challenges on Discord. It's been wonderful. If you've never used Discord before and are unfamiliar with it, I can pull it up here. Basically, when you jump into our Discord channel, you will jump into our little welcome room, and it will give you some information about how to use our Discord, where things are located, what all of the channels are for, and how to use this. You guys can jump into the introductions page when you get in here and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, the kind of things you like to design or illustrate. It would even be awesome just to hear what kind of level you folks are at with your design. Are you longtime professionals? Are you beginners just trying to jump in and learn a thing or two and get started? And then you guys can also post in the design feedback channel. This is where everyone has been posting their challenge entries for this week and for last week. And basically what we do is we post all the things that you folks create along with me. And then I come in every day and give you some design feedback, give you some tips and pointers, as well as a lot of the folks that you guys see in chat. People like Sam and Tim and Kathleen. They all jump in there and give cool design advice, and a lot of people just, you know, they jump in here and they make friends and they help each other out, give each other suggestions and critique each other's work. So it's been very, very fun. I hope that you will jump into the Discord and join us. You guys can chat in here amongst yourselves and hang out and talk about your projects and participate along with me. And there's the, yes, there we go. There's the Discord, bit.ly/PS Discord if you would like to join, and I hope to see you in there. But without further ado, let's jump into today's challenge. Today, as you can see, we're going to be working with blending modes. Now, some of our other challenges previously this week did include blending modes. It's, you know, kind of something that I added to the end of a lot of the projects that we worked on as, like, I guess the garnish on top of the dish, so to speak. But today we're going to be doing something a little more specific with blending modes. Whereas before I sort of added textures over the top of things, and I added a little bit of gradient with the blending modes to add some color into some of our darker images. Today we are actually going to be working with images of people. You guys could consider this a tutorial on editing influencer photos. For those of you who have an online presence where you use photos of yourself. And we're going to be changing up this image a little bit. Yes, blending modes, Kathleen, indeed. Alexandra, I'm glad that you are excited. Ethan, it's good to see you. Welcome in. Salil, hello. Yes, so we're going to treat this image, or any image that you folks would like to use, as maybe a test run for editing our own photos. Maybe you folks, like I mentioned earlier, maybe you edit photos of yourself and make banners, including your own image, and maybe you edit photos of other people and you make banners and promotional graphics for other folks with their images. So this is kind of like a run through on some ways that you could do that. So I'm going to zoom in here to our piece, and say you're working on a project where you need to include this image of this young woman, but the colors are all wrong. You need to select her, and you need to not only change the background, but ensure that the colors that are reflected onto her sort of reflect that new color change. So there are a lot of different ways that you can select a place to specifically alter with the blending modes, and I'm going to go through one of those now. So you can come up here. There are two really pretty awesome, easy to use, quick to learn tools, and one of them is the magic wand, and if you hold down your right click here, you will also see there's a quick selection tool. And I like to use either of these depending on the intricacy of the image that I'm editing. So first, let's try the magic wand tool. Let's do that. Select our magic wand, and you can come up here and you can see that you can actually edit the tolerance up at the top here. Many of you, it might start out somewhere around like 32. So I'm going to move it back down to that just so you folks can see how the difference between editing this tolerance number. So if I select out here, say I want to, kind of grab this nice red background, you can see that it definitely it's very choosy when the tolerance is down at 32. It selects kind of the main mid color here, but where the image gets a little bit darker or much brighter, it doesn't really select very cleanly. So if I come up here and I bump it up, let's bump it up maybe to 50 and just see what it does. A little bit better, but not quite. We still have like some bursts of unselected imagery here. Let's bump this up to, I believe what I was using, or what I typically use is like a 100. And it selects actually pretty cleanly. You may have to go in and select some individual things here with either your lasso tool or your diagonal, your rectangle selection tool. I've got watchers over here. They're hovering, guys. I can't mess up. So I can select my lasso tool here, and I can either hold Shift or Option or Control or Command, depending on which machine you're using, if you're on a Mac or PC. And I can come in here and I can kind of select around this area to add that into our selection, just to make everything a little bit cleaner. I see that we have some stray pixels over here in our hand, which we're gonna bump down, and then I'm also going to select just this darker area that did not get added to our selection here, and I need to actually hold our Shift in order to subtract that like that. And I'm using a trackpad today, which is sometimes that's all you got. As you guys know, I'm an illustrator, so I'm actually used to using the stylus pen whenever I'm doing my selections and everything. But oh, there we go. The magic mouse is approaching me here. Thank you. So yeah, I'm just going to come through here, and I'm going to kind of select these little parts out here. And that's pretty clean. And what I'm gonna do is on another layer, I'm gonna do Command Shift in, and we can rename this blue. because I'm going to actually change the background blue here. And I am going to use my paint bucket tool, which is over here. If you folks have still been using the gradient tool, you might not see the paint bucket right there at first. But if you right-click your gradient tool, your 3D material drop tool and your paint bucket tool will appear in that little drop down. So you can select your paint bucket tool, and then let's grab a nice blue. I'm going to come over here to my foreground color, and I'm going to select in here, get kind of a nice blue, and I'm going to drop that in just like that. Now that we have this, you can actually see where it wasn't super obvious when we had our red showing. You can see just how much of that red background is reflected onto her jacket, but we're going to take care of that as soon as we change this background. I am actually going to use the blending modes here, and if you're on a Mac, we've got our preview of the blending modes now, so we can just hover over and kind of go through and see all the different blending modes we have to choose from. For this particular project, I'm actually going to come down to the bottom here, and I'm going to put it on a hue. You can use hue or you can use color, whichever of those you prefer, but I think that those are the ones that are going to look the best for this project. And I'm gonna set it to hue, and then now that we have our background changed, now we need to make sure that she looks like she fits in this scene. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go Command-Shift-N to make a new layer here, and I'm gonna name this. We can say we'll just name it Girl. Because we're going to be changing the color of our girl here. And I'm actually not going to select her. I'm going to make sure I have a selection tool selected here, and I'm going to right-click on my canvas, and I'm going to say Select Inverse. So what that did was, instead of selecting everything around our girl here, I've now just selected everything that was the exact opposite of that. So we just have her selected, which is very convenient. And what we're going to do here is we're going to actually take the brush tool, and I'm going to use my brackets to, you can do right bracket to make your brush larger, left bracket to make your brush smaller. And we're going to take this blue, and I'm going to kind of come through here, and I'm going to add some blue to all these parts of her where our red was reflecting. And another just a quick cool tip for you guys. Sometimes when I'm working with selections, I get a little distracted by the little ant trail and the little moving dotted lines there that surround our selection. If you're the same way, you can actually do Command H, and that will hide it. But it will not deselect. If you do Command D, that will deselect. But Command H keeps your selection exactly where you put it, but hides it from view so that it's not so distracting. So we're going to kind of continue to color here in these spaces where this red is showing through. I think that is all of it. And then we're going to use blending modes on this area as well. So we're going to go up to our normal here, and we're going to scroll down here, and we're going to find a good mode that kind of erases that black, or that red on the black jacket there. And you could use like multiply, but that kind of darkens everything, and for whatever image you folks are using, that might not work. That might make things look a little too dark and won't blend her in with the rest of the image. So I'm actually going to scroll down here. The one that I typically use is actually the same one we used for the background, and I'm going to either choose a color or a hue. I think hue in this instance is much better because the color here kind of brightens that blue everywhere, which makes it look a little unnatural. But the hue, it leaves the jacket like a black jacket, and it keeps that red toned down, which looks awesome. So I'm going to go with hue. So there we go. We've got this newly sort of edited image of this girl, and I'm going to actually go hold shift while I'm selected on the girl layer, and I'm gonna click the blue layer to select all of our layers above our background, and I'm gonna do Command G like I was doing yesterday just to kind of group things together. And I'm going to call this Blue Girl. You can name yours, whichever you like. And then I kind of like to, once everything's grouped together, I kind of like to hide and unhide just to see the difference here. And there's a lot of things that you can actually do with this. Some of you might actually like to kind of blend this into maybe our Twitter banner project that we did earlier in the week. You could even use like some of the selection tools, which I actually did want to show you another one. Some of the selection tools to cut a person out of an influencer photo and add them to the side panel of your Twitter banner that we created. I'm going to show you one last selection tool. So we've used the magic wand, but we're actually going to kind of test out the quick selection tool as well. And this one can be really, really quick. I'm going to actually bump this size up with my brackets here, and I'm going to click in this section here. And this, you actually, at least for me, I don't have to hold my shift down in order to continue to add selection with this. However, it is very powerful. So you can see that it kind of selects into the character just a little bit. I typically use this selection tool when I am working with something that has like a very high contrast, because it can easily select that hard edge. Or I just make the size of my tool smaller here, which kind of brings down the intensity. And I can just come through and select everything like so. And it's very, very quick, very, very easy, and super helpful when it comes to trying to add intricate parts of one image into a different sort of graphic. So I'm actually going to re-show my influencer photo here. I'm going to deselect, and I'm actually going to save this with Command Shift S. There's a little save as there, and I'm going to navigate to my desktop and my DCC challenge file here, and I'm going to rename this to Red Blue Girl. Let's get that E there. And I'm going to save that as a PSD just so that I have all the original files. And then I'm going to Command Shift S again, and I'm going to save this as a JPEG, like so. And I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put this into my Behance project. So I think a lot of you are also sort of keeping a Behance project on your Behance profile where you're filing away all of your challenge entries for this week, just like I am. If you're not, however, or maybe you've uploaded one or two and you don't know how to go back in and edit your project, this is how you do it. If you come over here to your Behance project and you hover over the little gear icon, you can go down to the edit, and then you can scroll down to wherever in your project you would like to add your piece. Right here for challenge 6, I'm going to write influencer, I need my caps, influencer photos. And then in between here, I'm going to hit my grid and I'm going to say upload files, and I'm going to navigate to my Red Blue Girl, and I'm going to open it, and there she is. So now after this is done, I can go save. And then when I go back to my profile and I open up my project and scroll down, there she is. So you guys should totally upload to your Behance, and if you finish, you should also upload it to our Discord. I can go in right now to our design feedback thing and see all these wonderful Instagram story templates and symmetry images you guys have done throughout this week and last week. You guys rock. So many things posted in the Discord. I'm like blown away by the participation and how excited you guys have been over these. So I'm gonna hit this little plus. Kathleen says, "Hi, Val." Hi. I'm gonna hit this little plus down here by the chat bar, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with Behance. Is I'm gonna navigate to my red blue girl, and I'm gonna click that, and I'm gonna say open. And then it's going to allow me to add a comment or just simply click upload. For the sake of demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and write here, let's see, maybe not in caps, here is my entry for today's challenge. Boom. And I'm going to say upload. Tim says Star Trek rules. Wow. Wow, throwing massive shade right now. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. All right, there we go. Hello, AG 2019. Good to see you. Oh, and there's the Live Long and Prosper Spock hands in there from AG. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Everyone knows I'm a Star Wars fan, so they like to pull my leg a little bit. But yes, so that's how you folks can share your design in the design feedback. You can also come in here and ask any questions that you have if you got stuck at any point during the challenge. And you can also come into our tips and tricks area here and pick up some more helpful little bits of knowledge if you want. And then you can come down here into the chat section and hang out with our awesome friends on Discord from Adobe Live. So that's all I have for you guys today. I'm very excited about our next segments coming up. Maybe we can pull up the schedule and kind of check out what we've got going on today and this week. Earlier, you folks who have been here since the morning probably saw our awesome segment with Meg for some awesome UI UX design with Andrea. And then in the middle of our two segments today, you have me doing the Daily Creative Challenge. And then coming up next is going to be Brad and Paul for Creative Imagining. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. And I will see you guys in the Discord and in the next segment. Adios, everyone.